Have you ever been in a conversation, watching someone's expressions, their posture, their gaze, and wondered what was going on in their mind? Perhaps you've felt the tension in a room but couldn't pinpoint its source. Or you've sensed excitement in someone's tone even when their words seemed neutral. What if I told you that the key to understanding people lies in a skill you already possess but may not have fully tapped into? Imagine walking into any social situation, be it a high-stakes job interview, a family gathering, or even a negotiation with a client, and knowing how to read the invisible signals others unconsciously give off. This isn't about psychic powers or supernatural abilities, it's about something rooted in science, psychology, and mindfulness. It's the art of understanding body language, listening deeply, and connecting with others on a profound level. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of human behavior to explore how to read people's intentions with accuracy. Whether it's picking up on subtle body movements, recognizing shifts in tone, or interpreting micro-expressions, these skills will transform how you engage with the world. By the end of this journey, you'll have the tools to read the unspoken, connect authentically, and enhance every relationship in your life. But why is this skill so crucial? In a world dominated by words, emails, texts, and endless conversations, true understanding often lies in what isn't said. Think about moments when someone's words didn't align with their tone or gestures. Maybe they said, "I'm fine," but their eyes told a different story. Understanding these layers of communication gives you a significant edge. Whether in personal relationships, professional settings, or even casual encounters, imagine the possibilities. Picture yourself in these scenarios. 1. A boardroom negotiation. You're pitching an idea to a room full of executives. While one person nods along, another avoids your gaze, and a third starts tapping their pen. By reading these cues, you can redirect your attention to the supportive individual while addressing the concerns of the hesitant one. Your intuition becomes your superpower. 2. A first date. The person across the table smiles politely, but their posture is slightly angled away. Recognizing this subtle signal allows you to adjust the conversation, ensuring they feel more comfortable and engaged. 3. A conversation with your teenager. They claim everything is fine, yet their slumped shoulders and lack of eye contact say otherwise. By picking up on these nonverbal signs, you can offer support in a way that feels empathetic and non-judgmental. These are just glimpses of how mastering the art of reading people can enrich your life. Now, let's uncover the methods that will help you become more attuned to the world around you. Chapter 1. The silent language of the body. Our bodies constantly communicate messages, often revealing truths hidden behind words. Understanding body language is like unlocking a secret code. It bridges the gap between what is said and what is genuinely felt. Posture and stance. When someone stands tall with shoulders back, they often convey confidence and readiness. On the other hand, slouched shoulders or crossed arms usually indicate discomfort or defensiveness. Observing without judgment allows us to understand a person's emotional state based on their physical presence. For example, consider how the world perceives powerful figures like former US President Barack Obama and Russian President Vladimir Putin. Obama, known for his calm demeanor and upright posture, often uses open hand gestures and a slightly forward-leaning stance during speeches. Signifying openness and approachability, this body language helped convey his commitment to transparency and connection. Putin, by contrast, is frequently seen with a reserved stance, arms close to his body or hands in front, and a steady, intense gaze. This posture often reflects a sense of control and dominance, as well as an aura of restraint, which aligns with his perceived image of authority. Observing these differences reminds us of the unspoken messages leaders convey. By paying attention to posture, we can better understand a person's attitude, mood, or comfort level. It's important to remember that people are not always conscious of these signals. Posture is often an involuntary expression of inner feelings. Hand gestures and expressions. Hand gestures, often unintentional, amplify emotions and help to convey honesty or reservation. When someone speaks with open palms facing upward, it's usually a gesture of openness and honesty, as if they have nothing to hide. In contrast, if someone frequently touches their face, rubs their hands, or clasps them tightly, it can be a sign of nervousness, uncertainty, or even distrust. Consider Steve Jobs during Apple product launches. Jobs often used his hands to emphasize points, with open palms to signal transparency and excitement for Apple's products. These gestures supported his reputation as an innovator who genuinely believed in what he was sharing. On the contrary, when someone conceals their hands or avoids using gestures, it may convey reluctance or a desire to maintain control over their expression. Eye contact. Eye contact is one of the most revealing aspects of body language. Steady eye contact typically signifies confidence and attentiveness, while avoiding eye contact may indicate nervousness, discomfort, or even deceit. The saying, "eyes are the windows to the soul," often holds true. They can reveal a person's true emotions and intentions. Think about iconic figures like Oprah Winfrey. Known for her engaging interviews, her steady, genuine eye contact makes guests feel seen and valued, which has fostered deep, authentic conversations over the years. In contrast, if someone glances away frequently during a conversation, it might signal that they're uncomfortable, distracted, or unsure. However, context is crucial in interpreting eye contact. For example, intense eye contact can be intimidating. This approach is often employed in competitive or high-stakes situations. During presidential debates, candidates frequently use direct eye contact as a way to assert dominance, signal strength, and engage the audience. Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump exemplified this during the 2016 debates, where both aimed to communicate confidence and authority through steady, direct gazes. Mirroring and rapport building. Mirroring is when a person subconsciously mimics the gestures, posture, or tone of another. It's a natural sign of connection and rapport. When people feel comfortable with each other, they start to unconsciously align their body language, almost as if their bodies are saying, "I get you, we're in sync." A classic example of mirroring is seen in negotiations and diplomacy. Take the 1985 summit between U.S. President Ronald Reagan and Soviet General Secretary Mikhail Gorbachev. The two leaders initially displayed contrasting body language. Reagan's open gestures contrasted with Gorbachev's guarded posture. However, as discussions progressed, both leaders began to mirror each other's postures and gestures, signaling a developing rapport and openness to dialogue. This nonverbal shift was a positive indicator of the eventual warming of relations between the US and the Soviet Union. Similarly, in daily life, you might notice that when someone crosses their legs, the other person follows suit. Or if one person leans in to speak, the other does the same. This mirroring occurs subconsciously and fosters a sense of connection. If you observe someone mirroring your movements, it's a good sign they feel comfortable around you. Intentional mirroring, when used subtly, can also help build rapport, but overdoing it can come across as forced or insincere. Micro-expressions. The smallest cues with the biggest impact. Micro-expressions are brief, involuntary facial expressions that reveal genuine emotions, even when a person tries to conceal them. Although fleeting, these expressions can provide insights into someone's true feelings. For example, a quick flash of anger might manifest as a tightening of the lips or a brief narrowing of the eyes. Happiness, on the other hand, often produces crow's feet, wrinkles around the eyes, indicating a genuine smile. For instance, former British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher was known for her controlled expressions, which added to her Iron Lady persona. However, in interviews or debates where she felt particularly challenged, subtle expressions, such as a slight twitch or tightening around her mouth, could betray a moment of frustration or impatience. These micro-expressions, though barely noticeable, were often picked up by keen observers and used to interpret her reactions beyond her words. Recognizing micro-expressions requires careful observation and practice. But once mastered, it adds a deeper layer to your understanding of others. Observing subtle facial shifts helps you understand unspoken emotions, even if someone is trying to mask them. Physical proximity and space. The distance someone keeps from others also communicates nonverbal cues about their comfort, familiarity, or emotional state. Proxemics, the study of personal space, reveals that people maintain different distances based on their relationship and level of comfort with others. For instance, in high-stakes negotiations or diplomatic meetings, the arrangement of seating can reveal levels of comfort or tension. During the meetings between US and North Korean leaders, Proximity and positioning were carefully considered. When Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un were seated at an equal distance during their summit, it conveyed an attempt at mutual respect and equality, while more distant seating might indicate tension or distrust. In casual interactions, friends or family members tend to stand closer, while strangers maintain a respectful distance. If someone moves away when you approach, it could indicate discomfort or a need for space. Conversely, when someone stands close, it often implies familiarity or a desire to connect. The importance of body language in high-stakes situations. In situations where words alone may not fully convey intent, such as politics, business negotiations, or law enforcement, understanding body language becomes especially crucial. High-stakes environments amplify nonverbal cues as people instinctively respond to stress or attempt to conceal emotions. Consider an example from the world of sports. LeBron James, an NBA superstar, frequently exudes confidence through his body language on the court. Standing tall, making direct eye contact with opponents, and using expansive gestures, he asserts dominance. His body language reinforces his leadership, motivating his team and intimidating opponents without uttering a single word. Alternatively, high-profile figures like Elon Musk also exhibit strong body language cues during public events or press conferences. Musk's posture, hand movements, and eye contact fluctuate based on the context of the conversation. When discussing topics he's passionate about, such as renewable energy or space exploration, his body language becomes open and animated. However, when addressing controversial subjects, he may shift to a more closed posture, signaling caution or restraint. Reading the whole picture, the power of body language lies in understanding that no single gesture or expression can convey a complete message. Instead, it's essential to consider clusters of behaviors within the context of the situation. Analyzing posture, hand gestures, eye contact, micro-expressions, and proximity together offers a comprehensive picture of someone's emotional state or intent. Recognizing and understanding body language is a powerful skill that bridges communication gaps. From international summits to everyday conversations, body language shapes our interactions, often speaking louder than words. By tuning into these subtle cues, you gain insights that words alone cannot provide, enhancing your ability to connect, empathize, and respond effectively. In this way, body language becomes an essential tool for deepening interpersonal relationships and navigating high-stakes situations with confidence and empathy. Through observing the silent language of the body, you gain not just understanding but a pathway to more meaningful connections. Chapter 2. The Windows to the Soul. Eye contact is one of the most revealing aspects of human interaction, acting as a direct line to understanding a person's emotions, intentions, and state of mind. It serves as a silent yet powerful communicator, conveying more than words often can. Buddhist teachings often emphasize the importance of looking deeply, not merely observing the surface, but truly seeing into someone's essence. This mirrors the saying that the eyes are the windows to the soul, capturing their role as indicators of truth and connection. Engagement or avoidance. What eye contact reveals. Steady eye contact is typically a sign of attentiveness, interest, or confidence. In conversations, it creates a connection, making the other person feel valued and heard. Leaders and public figures often master this art to build rapport and trust with their audiences. For example, Martin Luther King Jr., during his iconic "I Have a Dream" speech, maintained direct eye contact with his audience as he scanned the crowd. This steady gaze reinforced his sincerity and passion, creating an emotional bond with listeners. It's this intensity of connection that made his speech not just heard, but felt by millions. Conversely, avoidance of eye contact or frequent blinking can signal discomfort, nervousness, or even deceit. When someone glances away too often, it may suggest that they are distracted, hiding something, or uncertain about what they are saying. However, context matters. Cultural differences play a role in interpreting eye contact. In some cultures, avoiding eye contact is a sign of respect, rather than an indication of anxiety or dishonesty. Consider interviews with notable figures like former Facebook COO Sheryl Sandberg. Her steady, confident gaze during high-pressure discussions about corporate ethics exudes composure and assurance. In contrast, when political leaders dodge difficult questions during press conferences, their fleeting eye movements or downward glances often imply discomfort or evasion. Micro-expressions. The truth behind subtlety. Micro-expressions are brief, involuntary facial movements that flash across someone's face before they can consciously control them. These fleeting moments often align with eye movements and offer a glimpse into someone's true feelings. Even when they attempt to mask them, micro-expressions are subtle but immensely revealing when paired with careful observation of the eyes. A quick lift of the eyebrows can indicate surprise or curiosity, while a narrowing of the eyes might suggest skepticism or focus. For instance, when Elon Musk presents groundbreaking ideas during Tesla announcements, you can observe moments where his brows lift slightly, signaling enthusiasm or a moment of realization. These small but potent cues enhance his persona as a visionary who is deeply connected to his concepts. On the other hand, a rapid glance away during a challenging question in an interview may indicate avoidance or discomfort. When former U.S. President Bill Clinton addressed accusations in the late 1990s, many body language experts noted his quick sideways glances, interpreting them as signs of stress under scrutiny. While these interpretations must be taken with caution, they highlight how micro-expressions and eye movements together create a rich tapestry of nonverbal communication. The role of eye contact in building trust. In interpersonal relationships, eye contact fosters trust. This principle is often utilized in high-stakes scenarios like diplomacy, negotiations, or leadership. For example, during summit meetings between leaders like Ronald Reagan and Mikhail Gorbachev, their deliberate use of eye contact conveyed mutual respect and willingness to cooperate. Even in moments of disagreement, maintaining eye contact demonstrated a commitment to dialogue and understanding. Similarly, in the business world, eye contact can determine the outcome of negotiations. Imagine a CEO pitching a merger to skeptical board members. By maintaining steady eye contact while addressing concerns, they project confidence and credibility. This creates an environment where the audience feels reassured and more open to collaboration. Take Jeff Bezos, founder of Amazon. During investor meetings, his unwavering gaze during presentations often conveys his deep belief in Amazon's vision. Instilling confidence in stakeholders, his ability to hold eye contact while articulating complex ideas makes his communication compelling and persuasive. Eye contact in social contexts. The balance between engagement and intensity. While steady eye contact is generally positive, too much intensity can come across as intimidating or even confrontational. Leaders and influencers must strike a balance, using eye contact to connect without overwhelming. For instance, think of the late Princess Diana, whose soft, empathetic gaze during her humanitarian visits became a symbol of her compassion. Her ability to engage with people through gentle eye contact made her interactions feel personal and genuine, resonating with millions. Conversely, during heated political debates, figures like Margaret Thatcher employed a piercing, unwavering gaze to assert dominance and control the narrative. Both approaches demonstrate the power of adjusting eye contact based on context and intent. In contrast, individuals like Mark Zuckerberg, known for his technical expertise but less natural charisma, often face criticism for perceived awkwardness in maintaining eye contact during interviews. This reinforces the idea that eye contact is a skill, one that can be honed and adapted to suit different situations. Story example: eye contact in action. To illustrate, let's consider Tony, a young entrepreneur pitching his groundbreaking idea to a panel of potential investors. Among them, one investor maintains unwavering eye contact, leaning forward with genuine interest, while another frequently glances at their watch and avoids direct gaze. Recognizing these cues, Tony wisely adjusts his focus, addressing the attentive investor in greater detail. By doing so, he maximizes his opportunity to make a connection where it truly matters. This scenario mirrors real-world examples in shows like Shark Tank, where entrepreneurs gauge investors' body language and adjust their pitches accordingly. By reading eye contact and other subtle signals, they tailor their message to the individuals who are most engaged, improving their chances of success. Cultural nuances in eye contact. It's important to note that interpretations of eye contact vary across cultures. In Western societies, steady eye contact is often associated with confidence and honesty, while in some Asian cultures, prolonged eye contact may be considered disrespectful or confrontational. This distinction emphasizes the need to adapt and interpret eye contact within its cultural context. For example, during U.S.-China trade negotiations, subtle differences in the use of eye contact often reflected broader cultural dynamics. American representatives, accustomed to direct engagement, may have misinterpreted Chinese officials' avoidance of prolonged eye contact as a lack of confidence, when in reality, it reflected a cultural norm of showing respect. Eye contact as a tool for connection. When used intentionally, eye contact becomes a powerful tool for fostering connection and mutual understanding. It's a skill that transcends language barriers and bridges cultural divides. Leaders, public figures, and everyday individuals alike can harness this ability to strengthen relationships, build trust, and navigate complex social dynamics. For instance, during Nelson Mandela's presidency in South Africa, his deliberate and empathetic use of eye contact helped unite a divided nation. By looking directly into the eyes of both supporters and adversaries, he conveyed sincerity and an unwavering commitment to reconciliation. This ability to connect on a human level through eye contact was a cornerstone of his leadership. Practical tips for mastering eye contact. 1. Be present. Maintain steady but natural eye contact to show attentiveness. Avoid staring, which can feel aggressive. 2. Balance engagement. Adjust your intensity based on the context. Use a softer gaze for building rapport and a firmer one for asserting authority. 3. Observe reactions. Watch for cues in the other person's eyes. Do they widen in surprise or narrow in skepticism? These signals can guide your response. 4. Practice with purpose. If maintaining eye contact feels unnatural, practice during everyday interactions, such as casual conversations or professional meetings. Chapter 3. The Art of Listening Beyond Words. True listening goes far beyond the words spoken aloud. It involves understanding the unspoken emotions, intentions, and thoughts that lie beneath the surface. Words, after all, are often just the tip of the iceberg. What truly matters often lies hidden in tone, pace, and silence. The art of listening requires mindfulness and patience, making it a skill that can deepen connections, build trust, and even transform relationships. Tone and tempo. Reading between the lines. The tone and tempo of speech often reveal far more than the actual words. A gentle, soft tone can indicate vulnerability or introspection, signaling that the speaker is sharing something deeply personal. On the other hand, rapid speech combined with a high-pitched voice often suggests excitement, nervousness, or even anxiety. Consider former U.S. President Barack Obama's speaking style during his presidency. His deliberate, measured tone was a hallmark of his ability to convey calmness and authority. Even when addressing difficult topics, this control over his tone helped inspire confidence and trust among his audience. Contrast this with Elon Musk, whose faster speech and occasional high-pitched moments during product launches often signal his enthusiasm and passion for his innovations. These vocal variations give his presentations energy and excitement but also reveal his eagerness and deep emotional investment. In interpersonal interactions, paying attention to tone and tempo can help you discern the underlying emotions. For instance, a friend saying, "I'm fine," in a slow, soft tone might actually be signaling sadness or fatigue. The same phrase delivered quickly with a slight edge might suggest frustration or irritation. Tone and tempo are invaluable cues for understanding someone's true feelings, even when their words suggest otherwise. The power of silence. Listening to what's unsaid. In conversations, silence is often misunderstood as an awkward void that needs to be filled. However, in the art of listening, silence is a powerful tool. It acts as an invitation, giving the other person space to process their thoughts and emotions before speaking. Mindful silence shows respect and attentiveness, allowing for deeper, more authentic exchanges. Take Mahatma Gandhi as an example. Known for his wisdom and humility, Gandhi often used silence as a tool during discussions and negotiations. When others spoke passionately or impulsively, he would listen patiently, allowing the silence to guide the conversation toward clarity and understanding. His willingness to let others fill the silence often led to more thoughtful, constructive dialogue. Silence also has a unique ability to encourage emotional openness. Imagine a therapist like Sarah, who uses silence as a tool in her counseling practice. When a teenage client hesitates to share a traumatic experience, Sarah doesn't rush to fill the pause with advice or questions. Instead, she waits patiently, giving the teen the space to gather their thoughts and emotions. This respectful silence becomes a bridge to vulnerability, enabling the client to open up and take a significant step in their healing journey. In high-stakes settings, silence can also serve as a strategic tool. For example, in negotiation, skilled diplomats like former U.S. Secretary of State Henry Kissinger often employed silence to encourage the other party to reveal more information or reconsider their stance. By resisting the urge to speak immediately, Kissinger allowed the weight of silence to influence the conversation, subtly shifting the dynamics in his favor. Active listening, a mindful practice. Active listening involves more than hearing words. It requires fully engaging with the speaker and demonstrating genuine interest. This practice is rooted in mindfulness, a principle that teaches us to remain fully present in the moment. Active listeners pay attention not just to what is said, but also to how it is said, observing tone, tempo, and body language while resisting the urge to interrupt or offer immediate solutions. Reflective listening. One of the core techniques in active listening is reflective listening, which involves summarizing or paraphrasing the speaker's words to show understanding. For example, if a colleague shares that they are overwhelmed with work, you might respond with, "It sounds like you're feeling really stretched thin right now." This reflection not only validates their emotions but also opens the door for further discussion. Consider Oprah Winfrey's approach during interviews. Her reflective listening style often encourages guests to delve deeper into their emotions. By repeating or paraphrasing their thoughts, she creates a safe space for vulnerability, resulting in some of the most memorable and heartfelt moments in television history. The role of questions in active listening. Asking thoughtful questions is another crucial aspect of active listening. Open-ended questions encourage the speaker to share more about their experiences, while clarifying questions help ensure that you fully understand their perspective. Instead of asking, "Are you okay?" which might elicit a simple yes or no, a more open-ended question like, "What's been on your mind lately?" invites a more meaningful response. Leaders like former Apple CEO Steve Jobs often used this technique to foster creativity and problem-solving within his team. By asking open-ended questions during meetings, he encouraged his team members to think deeply and share ideas, fostering innovation and collaboration. Nonverbal listening. Understanding without words. Listening goes beyond what is spoken. Nonverbal cues, such as facial expressions, body language, and gestures, often reveal unspoken emotions. A person's tone might sound calm, but their crossed arms or fidgeting hands could indicate anxiety or discomfort. Take Princess Diana as an example. During her humanitarian visits, she was known for her ability to listen with her whole presence. Her attentive posture, gentle nods, and warm eye contact communicated empathy and genuine care, often without her needing to say much. This nonverbal attentiveness made her interactions deeply impactful and memorable. Listening as a tool for building trust. Active listening is an essential tool for building trust, whether in personal relationships or professional settings. By truly listening, you demonstrate respect and empathy, which fosters a sense of safety and connection. For instance, during the 2008 financial crisis, President Barack Obama held multiple town hall meetings to address public concerns. His ability to listen attentively to citizens' fears and respond thoughtfully helped restore confidence and trust in his leadership during a time of uncertainty. His engagement went beyond words. It was his willingness to listen deeply and act based on those concerns that strengthened his connection with the public. Practical tips for enhancing listening skills. 1. Be present. Focus entirely on the speaker. Avoid distractions like checking your phone or thinking about what to say next. 2. Practice reflective listening. Paraphrase or summarize the speaker's thoughts to confirm your understanding. 3. Use silence wisely. Resist the urge to fill pauses. Let silence create space for deeper sharing. 4. Ask open-ended questions. Encourage detailed responses by framing your questions thoughtfully. 5. Pay attention to nonverbal cues. Observe gestures, facial expressions, and posture to gain deeper insights into the speaker's emotions. Conclusion. Listening beyond words. Mastering the art of listening requires more than just hearing, it demands presence, patience, and a genuine desire to understand. By paying attention to tone, tempo, silence, and nonverbal cues, you can connect with others on a profound level. Figures like Gandhi, Oprah Winfrey, and Barack Obama exemplify how deep listening can inspire trust, foster understanding, and create meaningful dialogue. As you practice active listening, you'll discover that it not only enriches your relationships but also empowers you to navigate complex social dynamics with empathy and insight. Chapter 4. Empathy as a bridge. Empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of others, is the foundation of meaningful human connection. It allows us to bridge divides, create trust, and foster genuine relationships. Empathy is not simply feeling for someone, it's feeling with them. As the Buddha taught, to know another's suffering is the first step toward easing it. By stepping out of our perspective and into someone else's, we gain a profound sense of shared humanity and compassion. Walking in their shoes, a core principle of empathy. To practice empathy, we must shift from our perspective to that of another person. This shift requires imagination, self-awareness, and often a connection to past experiences. Reflecting on times when we faced similar challenges can help us understand someone else's pain or joy, even if their situation is different. Consider Michelle Obama's efforts to connect with diverse communities during her time as First Lady. In her memoir, Becoming, she recounts visiting underprivileged schools where students faced immense challenges. Instead of approaching them with sympathy alone, she often shared stories of her own struggles growing up on the South Side of Chicago. By revealing her experiences, she created a sense of relatability, showing students that she understood their hardships and believed in their potential. This principle applies to everyday life as well. Imagine a parent like Alice, struggling to understand her teenage daughter, Emma. When Emma slams her bedroom door after an argument, Alice could react with anger. Instead, she remembers her own teenage frustrations and feelings of being misunderstood. Drawing on this memory, Alice approaches Emma with kindness, saying, "I remember feeling like the world didn't understand me. Let's talk when you're ready." This empathetic approach diffuses tension and opens the door for honest communication. Empathy in leadership. Building bridges across divides. Empathy is not just a personal virtue, it's a critical skill for effective leadership. Leaders who demonstrate empathy are better equipped to inspire and connect with their teams, especially during times of crisis. Empathy fosters trust, collaboration, and loyalty, making it a cornerstone of great leadership. Take New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern, whose empathetic leadership has garnered global praise. After the Christchurch mosque shootings in 2019, Ardern's immediate response was to don a hijab and personally comfort victims' families. Her actions symbolized solidarity and understanding, transcending cultural and religious differences. Her ability to empathize with the affected community created a powerful sense of unity and healing during a time of immense grief. Similarly, during the COVID-19 pandemic, Ardern held regular, informal Facebook Live sessions to address her citizens' concerns. By speaking candidly and showing genuine concern for people's struggles, she demonstrated how empathy can guide effective and compassionate decision-making. Active empathy. Taking action beyond understanding. Empathy is not a passive emotion, it calls for action. Active empathy means responding to someone's feelings in a way that demonstrates understanding and care. This could involve offering support, lending a listening ear, or simply acknowledging their emotions. Think of Princess Diana's humanitarian work. Known as the People's Princess, Diana didn't just sympathize with those in need, she actively engaged with them. From hugging children with AIDS to kneeling beside landmine victims, her actions reflected her ability to connect deeply with people's suffering. Her empathetic gestures broke down social barriers, transforming how the world viewed those marginalized by society. Empathy in action can also strengthen professional relationships. Consider Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft, who emphasizes the importance of empathy in business. When Nadella's son Zain was born with cerebral palsy, it profoundly shaped his perspective on leadership. He often speaks about how raising a child with special needs taught him to listen more intently, appreciate diverse perspectives, and prioritize inclusion. Under his leadership, Microsoft's culture has shifted toward empathy-driven innovation, focusing on accessibility and empowering all users. Recognizing shared experiences. Empathy often stems from recognizing shared experiences, even if we haven't faced the exact same situation. Recalling times when we felt similarly can help us connect. This practice doesn't diminish the uniqueness of someone's experience, instead, it highlights our shared humanity. For example, when Nelson Mandela negotiated with South Africa's apartheid regime, he drew on his 27 years of imprisonment to understand the fears and resistance of his political adversaries. Rather than approaching negotiations with anger or bitterness, Mandela used empathy to find common ground. He recognized that his adversaries' actions were driven by fear of losing power and identity, and he addressed these concerns with compassion, ultimately leading to a peaceful transition to democracy. In our daily lives, this principle applies to resolving conflicts. If a colleague seems irritable during a meeting, reflecting on times when we felt overwhelmed by stress might help us approach them with patience rather than frustration. A simple, empathetic acknowledgement, "I noticed you seem a bit off today. Is there anything I can help with?" can shift the dynamic and foster understanding. The role of vulnerability in empathy. Empathy requires vulnerability. To truly connect with others, we must be willing to confront and share our own feelings. This mutual openness creates an environment where trust can thrive. Former U.S. President Bill Clinton often credited his political success to his ability to feel people's pain. His famous line, "I feel your pain," delivered during a 1992 town hall, resonated deeply because it reflected his willingness to relate to people's struggles. By showing vulnerability, Clinton built a reputation as a leader who genuinely cared about the concerns of ordinary Americans. In contrast, a lack of vulnerability can hinder empathy. Leaders or individuals who prioritize authority over connection risk alienating those they seek to influence. Vulnerability doesn't imply weakness. It demonstrates strength through honesty and humility. Empathy as a tool for conflict resolution. Empathy is particularly powerful in resolving conflicts. It allows us to see the other person's perspective, even when we disagree. By acknowledging their feelings and concerns, we create a foundation for dialogue and compromise. Consider Mahatma Gandhi's approach during India's struggle for independence. Gandhi's commitment to nonviolence stemmed from his deep empathy for both the oppressed and the oppressors. He understood that British colonizers were driven by fear and a desire to maintain control, just as Indians were driven by a longing for freedom. By empathizing with both sides, Gandhi fostered a movement that sought justice without hatred, setting a powerful example for future leaders. On a smaller scale, empathy can transform personal conflicts. For instance, if a friend cancels plans at the last minute, our immediate reaction might be frustration. However, pausing to consider their perspective, perhaps they're overwhelmed with work or dealing with personal challenges, can shift our response from annoyance to understanding. A simple, empathetic message like, "I understand you're going through a lot. Let me know when you're free to catch up," can preserve the relationship and show care. Empathy in everyday interactions. Empathy isn't reserved for leaders or moments of crisis. It's a skill we can practice daily. Small gestures of empathy can have a profound impact on those around us. A cashier who looks tired might appreciate a kind word, while a colleague struggling with a project might benefit from your encouragement or assistance. Think about Malala Yousafzai, the Nobel laureate who advocates for girls' education. Malala's empathy for marginalized girls stems from her own experience of being denied education by the Taliban. Her willingness to share her story and fight for others has inspired millions, showing how empathy can drive global change. Similarly, Pope Francis embodies empathy in his papacy. From washing the feet of prisoners to personally comforting refugees, his actions demonstrate a commitment to understanding and uplifting the marginalized. His approach reminds us that empathy begins with simple acts of kindness. Practical steps to cultivate empathy. 1. Practice active listening. Give your full attention to others. Listen without interrupting, and reflect on their words to show understanding. 2. Ask thoughtful questions. Encourage deeper sharing by asking open-ended questions like, "How are you feeling about this?" 3. Put yourself in their shoes. Recall times when you faced similar emotions, even if the situation was different. 4. Show compassion through action, small gestures, like offering help or simply acknowledging someone's feelings, can make a big difference. 5. Be patient. Empathy takes time. Allow space for others to open up at their own pace. Empathy is a skill that connects us to our shared humanity. It enables us to see beyond our own perspective, embrace vulnerability, and take meaningful action to support others. Whether in leadership, conflict resolution, or daily interactions, empathy acts as a bridge, bringing people closer together and creating a more compassionate world. Chapter 5. Intuition and the subtle energies. Intuition, often referred to as a gut feeling or an instinct, is a subtle yet powerful force that helps us navigate the complexities of human interaction. Rooted in the interconnectedness of all beings, a concept central to Buddhism, intuition bridges the gap between logic and emotion. When we quiet the noise of our minds and tune into the subtle energies around us, we can sense what words cannot convey. Recognizing energy shifts. The language of intuition. Energy shifts are often the first indicators that something is amiss or that a deeper emotional truth lies beneath the surface. Intuition enables us to pick up on these subtle changes, even when no words are spoken. It is about observing the unspoken language of behavior, mood, and presence. For example, a cheerful friend who suddenly grows quiet may not say anything, but their shift in energy speaks volumes. Similarly, a colleague who avoids eye contact during a meeting may be signaling discomfort or preoccupation. These subtle changes often urge us to check in, to offer support, or simply to acknowledge what might be happening beneath the surface. Consider Malala Yousafzai, the Nobel Peace Prize laureate and activist for girls' education. Malala's ability to read the energy of a room, even amidst opposition, is a testament to her intuitive understanding of human dynamics. In interviews, her keen observation allows her to adapt her tone and message based on her audience's energy, ensuring her words resonate deeply. The role of intuition in leadership. Intuition is a vital tool for effective leadership, particularly in navigating complex social dynamics or crises. Leaders often rely on intuition to sense shifts in their team's morale, detect underlying tensions, or anticipate challenges before they arise. Take former German Chancellor Angela Merkel. Known for her calm, calculated demeanor, Merkel frequently demonstrated an ability to intuitively assess situations and make decisions that balanced pragmatism with empathy. During the 2015 European migrant crisis, her decision to open Germany's borders to refugees stemmed not only from a rational evaluation of the situation but also from an intuitive understanding of the humanitarian need and the long-term impact on global relations. Similarly, Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft, credits much of his success to a combination of intuition and empathy. By paying close attention to the subtle dynamics within his organization, Nadella has been able to foster a culture of collaboration and innovation. His intuitive leadership has transformed Microsoft into a more inclusive and forward-thinking company. Building intuition through mindfulness. Mindfulness, a core principle of Buddhism, enhances our ability to tune into intuition by helping us remain present and aware. By quieting the constant chatter of our minds, we become more attuned to the subtle energies around us. A practical example of this is seen in the routines of many high-performing leaders. Oprah Winfrey, for instance, often credits her success to regular mindfulness and meditation practices. These practices help her connect with her intuition, enabling her to make decisions that align with her values and vision. Oprah's ability to sense what her guests need in the moment, whether it's a challenging question or a comforting word, illustrates how mindfulness sharpens intuition. Trusting your instincts. Trusting your instincts is not always easy, especially when logic or societal expectations pull you in a different direction. Yet, intuition often provides insights that logic cannot. It acts as an internal compass, guiding us toward decisions that align with our true selves. For example, Apple co-founder Steve Jobs frequently spoke about the role of intuition in his creative process. Jobs relied on his instincts to make decisions that revolutionized technology, from the development of the iPhone to the simplicity of Apple's design philosophy. While others doubted the practicality of his ideas, Jobs trusted his gut, leading to innovations that reshaped the industry. On a personal level, trusting your intuition can strengthen relationships. Imagine Noah, a team leader, who notices his usually energetic assistant, Lily, sitting quietly during lunch. Instead of dismissing the change, Noah trusts his intuition and gently asks if she's okay. Lily opens up about a recent personal loss, leading to a heartfelt conversation that strengthens their bond and reinforces trust. This small but meaningful interaction highlights how intuition can deepen connections and create supportive environments. Intuition as a tool for connection. Intuition is not just about making decisions, it's a tool for building deeper connections. By sensing the unspoken needs and emotions of others, we can respond with compassion and understanding, creating a sense of safety and belonging. Consider Nelson Mandela, who relied heavily on intuition during his presidency in South Africa. Mandela's ability to sense the fears and hopes of both the oppressed and the oppressors allowed him to lead a divided nation toward reconciliation. His intuitive approach to leadership emphasized dialogue, empathy, and understanding, laying the foundation for lasting peace. In daily life, intuition helps us recognize when someone needs support, even if they don't explicitly ask for it. A simple gesture, like checking in with a friend who seems distant or offering help to a colleague who appears overwhelmed, can make a significant difference. Recognizing and responding to emotional energies. Emotional energy is often expressed in subtle ways, through tone, posture, or even silence. Intuition helps us pick up on these cues and respond appropriately. For instance, a teammate who usually contributes enthusiastically becomes unusually quiet during a meeting. Intuition might prompt you to check in afterward to ensure everything is okay. A family member seems preoccupied despite saying they're fine. Trusting your instincts to ask gently about their feelings can open the door to a meaningful conversation. These moments demonstrate how intuition fosters empathy and strengthens relationships. Developing intuition. Like any skill, intuition can be cultivated through practice and awareness. Here are practical steps to develop your intuitive abilities. 1. Practice mindfulness. Spend time each day in quiet reflection or meditation. This helps quiet the mind and heighten awareness of subtle cues. 2. Observe without judgment. Pay attention to people's behavior, tone, and energy without rushing to conclusions. Intuition thrives on unbiased observation. 3. Reflect on past experiences. Recall moments when you trusted your instincts and the outcome. This reflection reinforces your ability to recognize intuitive insights. 4. Stay open to feedback. Sometimes intuition aligns with reality, other times it may not. Remaining open to feedback helps refine your instincts over time. Balancing intuition with logic. While intuition is a powerful tool, it's essential to balance it with logic and critical thinking. Relying solely on intuition can lead to biases or assumptions. Combining intuitive insights with rational analysis ensures more balanced and informed decisions. For instance, Jeff Bezos, founder of Amazon, is known for blending intuition with data-driven decision-making. While Bezos often trusts his gut when exploring new ventures, he pairs this intuition with rigorous market analysis to minimize risk and maximize success. This combination has been instrumental in Amazon's global dominance. The power of intuition in everyday life. Intuition is not limited to leaders or visionaries, it's a tool everyone can use to navigate life's complexities. From sensing when a friend needs support to making career decisions, intuition helps us connect with others and ourselves on a deeper level. For example, when Malala Yousafzai advocates for girls' education, her intuitive understanding of their struggles drives her mission. Having experienced educational inequality firsthand, Malala channels her intuition into powerful advocacy, resonating with millions worldwide. Intuition is the quiet guide that helps us understand the unspoken, navigate challenges, and build meaningful connections. By recognizing energy shifts, trusting our instincts, and cultivating mindfulness, we can harness this subtle yet profound force to create more compassionate and connected relationships. Chapter 6. Mindfulness in Interactions. Mindfulness, the act of being fully present in the moment, transforms the way we connect with others. It allows us to perceive subtle shifts in behavior and emotion that often go unnoticed in the rush of daily life. By practicing mindfulness in interactions, we can create deeper, more meaningful relationships, fostering empathy, understanding, and connection. The power of mindfulness in human interaction. Mindfulness enables us to tune into the present moment, shedding distractions and judgments that might otherwise cloud our understanding of others. This heightened awareness not only enhances communication but also helps us notice the subtle cues, body language, tone shifts, or micro-expressions that reveal a person's unspoken emotions. For example, the Dalai Lama is often described as a master of mindful interaction. During his public appearances, he greets individuals with full attention, making each person feel genuinely seen and heard. His calm presence and attentive demeanor embody mindfulness, creating an atmosphere of peace and connection even in crowded settings. Mindfulness also plays a vital role in high-stress environments. Consider former U.S. President Barack Obama during the 2008 financial crisis. His ability to remain composed and fully present in discussions with economic leaders allowed him to address complex challenges with clarity and focus. By practicing mindfulness, Obama not only calmed tensions but also inspired confidence in his decision-making abilities. Techniques to enhance mindfulness in interactions. Mindfulness is a skill that can be cultivated through intentional practice. Simple techniques, when applied consistently, can help you stay grounded and present in your interactions. 1. Breathing focus. Before engaging with others, take a few deep breaths to center yourself. Focusing on your breath helps quiet the mind and prepares you to listen attentively. This technique is especially useful in high-pressure situations, such as meetings or difficult conversations. Oprah Winfrey often speaks about her use of mindful breathing before interviews or speeches. By grounding herself in the present moment, she enters interactions with calmness and clarity, enabling her to connect more deeply with her audience. 2. Body scan. A quick scan of your physical sensations helps you remain grounded and aware of your own state before entering a conversation. Tension in your shoulders or a tight jaw might indicate stress, which, if unchecked, could affect your interactions. By acknowledging and releasing these sensations, you become more present and receptive. Athletes like Serena Williams use a similar technique before matches. By scanning her body for tension and focusing on relaxation, Williams maintains mental and physical balance, a practice that translates into her ability to stay present and focused in high-stakes moments. 3. Active presence. Give your full attention to the person in front of you. This means setting aside distractions, no checking phones, no thinking about what to say next, just being fully engaged in the interaction. Active presence not only helps you pick up on subtle cues but also makes the other person feel valued and understood. Consider Angela Merkel, former Chancellor of Germany, known for her attentive listening skills. Merkel's ability to remain fully present during negotiations allowed her to build trust with international leaders. Her focused presence during discussions demonstrated respect and fostered collaboration. The impact of mindfulness on relationships. Mindfulness strengthens relationships by fostering deeper understanding and connection. When we are fully present, we show others that we value their thoughts and emotions, which encourages openness and trust. A powerful example of mindfulness in relationships comes from Princess Diana. During her humanitarian visits, Diana practiced active presence, giving her undivided attention to individuals she met, regardless of their social status. Her mindful approach allowed her to connect on a personal level, leaving a lasting impact on those she touched. Mindfulness also helps us navigate conflicts with greater empathy and clarity. Imagine two colleagues in a heated debate. A mindful approach might involve pausing to breathe, acknowledging each other's points without interruption, and responding with thoughtfulness rather than reactive emotion. This practice not only diffuses tension but also fosters a constructive dialogue. Recognizing subtle shifts through mindfulness. Mindfulness sharpens our ability to perceive subtle shifts in behavior and emotion that often go unnoticed. These shifts might include changes in tone, posture, or facial expressions, cues that reveal a person's true feelings. For example, Clara, a community leader, notices a newcomer standing apart during a gathering. The individual scans the room with a nervous smile, signaling discomfort or hesitation. Mindfully, Clara approaches them with warmth and engages in conversation. Her attention to the newcomer's subtle cues and her willingness to act transforms their experience. making them feel welcome and included. In professional settings, recognizing these shifts can make a significant difference. Take Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft, who emphasizes the importance of mindfulness and leadership. By noticing when team members seem disengaged or stressed, Nadella creates opportunities for open dialogue and support, fostering a culture of trust and collaboration. The role of mindfulness in emotional regulation. Mindfulness helps us manage our emotions, enabling us to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. In challenging interactions, this emotional regulation allows us to remain calm, empathetic, and solution-focused. Consider Nelson Mandela's approach to conflict resolution. Despite enduring decades of imprisonment, Mandela maintained a mindful presence in his interactions with former adversaries. By managing his emotions and listening deeply, he created an environment where dialogue and reconciliation could flourish. His ability to remain calm and composed under pressure is a testament to the transformative power of mindfulness. Cultivating empathy through mindfulness. Mindfulness enhances empathy by helping us attune to others' emotions and perspectives. When we are fully present, we can sense the unspoken feelings that words may not convey, allowing us to respond with greater compassion. Think of Malala Yousafzai, the Nobel laureate and advocate for girls' education. Malala's mindful approach to advocacy is rooted in her ability to listen deeply to the stories of marginalized girls around the world. By truly hearing their struggles, she amplifies their voices and builds a global movement for change. Practical applications of mindfulness in daily interactions. 1. Prepare mindfully. Before entering a conversation, take a moment to ground yourself. A few deep breaths or a quick body scan can help you focus and clear your mind of distractions. 2. Listen without judgment. Approach interactions with curiosity rather than assumptions. This allows you to remain open to the other person's perspective, fostering mutual understanding. 3. Respond thoughtfully. Pause before responding, especially in emotionally charged situations. A mindful pause helps you choose words that align with empathy and clarity. 4. Observe subtle cues. Pay attention to tone, body language, and expressions. These cues often reveal emotions that words cannot. 5. Practice gratitude. Acknowledge the value of each interaction, no matter how small. Gratitude cultivates mindfulness and strengthens connections. Mindfulness in interactions is a practice that transforms the way we engage with others. By cultivating awareness and presence, we can perceive subtle shifts, respond with empathy, and create meaningful connections. Leaders like Barack Obama, Princess Diana, and Nelson Mandela exemplify how mindfulness can inspire trust and understanding, proving that this skill is not just a personal virtue but a tool for positive change in the world. Now that you've journeyed through the fascinating realm of human behavior, let's reflect on what you've gained. You've learned how to decode body language, from the way someone crosses their arms to the subtleties of a fleeting smile. You've explored the power of active listening, hearing not just the words but the emotions behind them. You've discovered how empathy and mindfulness serve as bridges, connecting you to others in ways that words alone cannot. But this isn't just about observing others, it's about becoming more present in every interaction. When you pay attention to the subtle cues, the shift in tone, the flicker of discomfort in someone's eyes, you're doing more than understanding, you're building trust. You're creating an environment where people feel truly seen and valued. Take a moment to think about the relationships in your life. Who could benefit from your newfound ability to read and respond to their unspoken needs? A friend going through a tough time? A colleague who seems distant? Or perhaps even a stranger whose day you could brighten with a small act of kindness? These skills aren't just tools, they're gifts, ones that have the power to transform not only how you see the world but how the world sees you. As you step away from this video, remember this: every interaction is an opportunity. It's a chance to connect, to understand, and to bring more compassion into the lives of those around you. The next time you find yourself across from someone, whether it's a family member, a coworker, or a stranger, pause. Look a little deeper, listen a little closer, and trust that the insights you've gained here will guide you to meaningful connections. If you found value in this journey, don't forget to subscribe to Light of Buddhism for more content that helps you navigate the complexities of life with wisdom, mindfulness, and compassion. Let's continue to grow together, one interaction at a time. And if you're ready to start using these skills, share in the comments. What's the first situation you plan to apply them to? Thank you for being here today. Together, let's build a world where understanding and empathy shine brighter than ever before.